You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
Faith, freedom, and the best music of the 80s and 90s. You are listening to Sunny 93.3. It's time right now for the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris. How you doing, Dan?
I'm just bouncing into another week here, and pretty soon a brand new year. How about that?
I know.
Is that even
I
possible?
Can't wait.
2020, it just sounds weird. It almost sounds like science fiction, doesn't
I know.
it?
It sounds pretty cool,
2020.
though.
The future
I think
is
it's going
here.
to be an amazing year.
I think it's going to be, it's clearly going to be a visionary year.
Speaking of which, let's go back to 1953.
Oh, I remember
Okay.
This day, 1953, the very first ever color television sets went on sale in this country.
Ooh.
Yep,
I
man.
didn't realize they were available that early.
Not very many of them. Here's the deal. RCA
Yeah.
was the first one to market them to the general public. Came with a kickin' 15-inch screen.
Oh, nice.
Oh, 15
15-inch
inches.
screen.
More than our computer monitor.
Yeah. The average price of that first color television set back in 53 and 54, what do you think the price tag was on it?
$200.
Boy. Yeah, it had to have been pretty close, so maybe even more.
So that sounds pretty expensive for 1953 for a TV,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Try, depending on where in the country they were being sold, average price tag $1,200 to $1,400 a piece.
Yeah, that was more than a car.
Now, keep in mind, the average household median income in this country was a little over $4,000 annual
year.
income.
So that was 1/4
man.
of what you'd make a year. You'd plunk down on a color television.
Yep, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is very crazy.
But when new technology comes, it's always super expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember 70s going into the mid 70s. All of a sudden, here were these calculators you could hold in your hand.
Oh, yeah. Solar
They
power.
were digital from like Texas Instruments
Oh,
and places
yeah, I
like
had
that.
one of those.
They were hundreds of dollars. Now your insurance guy just given to you. You know,
Yeah, there you go. And a calendar. Take
yeah,
that.
pretty interesting. I thought that was just fascinating. Very first color TV sets, almost $1,400 with a 15-inch screen.
And it didn't even come with a remote.
Yeah, and if you were lucky, you got 2 channels.
Yeah, and they weren't
Maybe.
they weren't even in color. So.
Yeah, and everything was still being shot in black and white. So good luck with that.
And most people didn't even have a DVD player yet. So,
Yeah, not
I
yet.
think.
well, they weren't invented yet.
Crazy.
Yeah, but 2020, man, it's here we go. Here we go.
Well, welcome to the future. It'll be here before you know it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris on Sunny.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, but it can also be expensive. One survey found 44% of shoppers racked up more than $1,000 in holiday debt last year, and 5% accumulated more than $5,000 in debt. Are you still paying for last year's Christmas gifts? Maybe you need better credit cards. We'd love to help at bettercreditcards.com. Find a card that's a better fit for your needs. Some like cards with points or miles. Others just want a lower rate. Find what you're looking for at bettercreditcards.com.
Faith, freedom, and the best music of the 80s and 90s. You are listening to Sunny 93.3. It's time right now for Ranger Dan's Critter Corner.
Well, I'm rough, tough, and ready. I'm a heck of a man. Eat my beans and weenies from a frying pan.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves to wrestle bears and lasso ducks. Run over possums in my government truck.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves all the campers and the animals too. If you're picking on critters, I'm coming after you.
He's Ranger Dan.
Yes, sir. I'm Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger
Good
Dan.
morning, Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Well, good morning there, Heidi Small and John Small. How you doing, you two?
Doing
You
good.
two wacky little lovebirds. Yeah, rascal, you make me sick. Now, radio rangers at home. Hey, let's talk about animals that climb, shall we? This is just
Sure.
kind of fun. You think all animals can climb? Well, gosh darn it, they sure can. Let's just take a look at some that are really the best at it, and some even live high top in the old trees. You know, bears are really good climbers, so if you think you're going to get away from a bear climbing a tree, you're wrong.
Yeah, that's a bad way to do it.
You're dead meat there, paleo. Squirrels, of
Die a little
course.
higher in the tree.
Sloths are good climbers. Just takes
Yes,
them
they
a little
are.
longer.
Takes them a little longer.
A little longer. Monkeys, great climbers. Baboons, you bet. Cats, yup. Some goats, believe it or not,
Really?
are tree climbers. And, of course, one of my favorites, the coconut crab.
The coconut coconut crab.
Tastes like real coconut.
That's a true story. Absolutely a true story. Well, they call them the coconut crab because they will climb a palm tree, a coconut tree in the tropics, and cut a coconut loose, go back down, drill into it, and that's how they get some of their nourishment. Yep.
Huh.
Ranger Dan knows his critters. Don't be messing around. The reason we're talking about climbing is, if you recall, maybe a week or two ago, I was talking about climbing the old career ladder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Position opened up with the South Dakota
Yes.
Did you
Game
get that
Fish
gig?
and Parks. Well, here's what's going on. The reason I'm broaching the subject here, John. I become like the big muckamuck, the division supervisor of the entire wildlife department. Triple my salary overnight just like that with doing virtually nothing because it is a government job. Now, a number of you did call the secretary of the Game Fish and Parks Department, my good old pal who I've never met, Kelly Helper.
Oh, nice.
His number, of course, is 605-773-3718. There's been a little snag.
What's the snag?
Apparently, because it is a big high-level government job, they are, of course, interested in my vast talents, but they do a little thing called a drug test. Now, keep in mind, little radio rangers, little Ranger Dan is not down with that kind of thing, but I did live through the 60s. I seem to recall the 70s a little bit and the 80s. So here's what we're going to need to do when you have time and an inclination. If you would just bring a urine sample over to Northview Bait and Tackle on North Kiwanis. Drop it off. The first 50 people to do so will get a $5 Ranger Dan gift card, redeemable for Ranger Dan merchandise, or a dozen crappie minnows, your choice. Appreciate your support. We'll keep you posted. That's it for Ranger Dan. Keep in mind, little radio rangers, stay in school, go to church, say your prayers, eat your vegetables, don't be playing soccer. Good Lord, don't be wearing Crocs. Ranger Dan out. Yes, sir.
Ranger Dan's Critter Corner, exclusively on Sunny 93.3.
This time of year, we have many events that involve alcohol. If you struggle to drink without drinking too much, there is help. There are programs designed to help take alcohol out of your life for good at timeforrehab.com. Don't let a drinking problem spill over into other areas of your life. Get help to quit drinking and start living the life you truly deserve at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Faith, freedom, and the best music of the 80s and 90s. You are listening to Sunny 93.3. It's time now for Water Cooler Talk, brought to you by Aqua One. Mr. Dan Farris back in the studio here with some really important news. He's laughing, though. Maybe it's not really important.
No, I'm
somewhat important news.
I'm trying to read my writing, and it just gets sadder by the day.
That can be a challenge.
Of course, this is going to hit locally here, and probably already has. I'm not sure when exactly they're going to institute this, but it is a national thing. And we were getting some inquiries about it. The legal age to buy tobacco products in the United States of America is now 21.
Yeah.
For decades, it was 18. It's now 21.
I had posted that online last week.
And somebody threw down on you.
People are like, cite your sources, Mr.
Cite your sources.
I'm like, what?
You're making stuff up.
It was in a press release.
Yeah, and when
making
you
these
think
things
about
up.
it, because it is now federal law, and the states have to follow this guideline, apparently, as far as we know. So it's like, okay, we got nothing better to do than mess around with this. And the irony is this, I take all this stuff like, whatever. It's like, what it doesn't affect me because I'm, I guess, over 21. But I go back a few years, and here's my son Luke, who is military. Yeah. And he's 20 years old, jumping out of planes with an M4 rifle, 9mm sidearm and hand grenades, parachuting for the military. And he's 20 years old. And now in that situation, you go, ooh, smoking might be dangerous. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's like whatever.
Yeah, that does, when you say it that way, I guess it doesn't really make a ton of sense there, does it?
No, again, and is there going to be blowback on this? Well, I guess not, because now it's law. I mean, it is signed into law. It is a law.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, I've been around long enough. I can remember when a lot of states experimented with lowering the drinking age to 18.
Yep.
That was a terrible idea, by the way.
Yeah, there were some states that did it and some that didn't. Then people just drive over state line to buy it. So.
Yeah, because I grew up in Minneapolis. So here's the deal. Me and my buddies out of high school, we would drive over to Wisconsin, which was just 2 hours away because in Wisconsin at that time it was 18 and Minnesota was 21.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So now, so let's, in my case, it's like, let's put 18-year-olds out on I-94 hammered online in Kugel. Here's a good idea.
Yeah.
So.
Huh. Well.
Yeah, but this tobacco thing, it's like, we got anything better to do, man? That just seems kind of ridiculous.
It's interesting. And again, I know that there are people on each side of that argument that have valid points. So, it's not like I don't understand.
Does that apply towards vape stuff, too, since there's not tobacco in vape? That's nicotine.
That's right. Tobacco is a completely different. Yeah, it's and there again the vape thing. I watch his story unfold, and keep in mind I have kind of an inside track because, again, back to my son, he worked as a graphic designer for a very fantastic vape company out of Prescott, Arizona.
Yeah,
they're very successful. They've been around a long time. They're totally legit,
and they do things by the books.
And all of these horror stories you heard over the summer and whatnot, this was off-market, black market stuff that had been stepped on by idiots.
Yeah.
They were introducing ingredients into the juices that shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
And that's where the illness came in. That's where the death came in. But now all vaping companies are suspect and government's banging on them. It's like, to me, it's like, no, down one. No. That's what sparked this whole tobacco thing, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Okay. That's why I was wondering if it applies to vaping as well as just tobacco products. Cigarettes and stuff.
Believe it or not, Heidi, there are people that are higher on the food chain than the two of us in this room.
I'll have to do some checking.
Keep in mind, there are just a handful of people in America that know better how you should live your life. And I'm a big fan of that.
Well, I'm a big fan of giving away a cool prize.
Woo!
We have a thing called the Maverick Recruiting Top Gun of the Week. We're going to announce who that is coming up in just a moment. Big thank you to our friends at Maverick Recruiting for bringing that our way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour right here on Sunny 93.3.
We all know someone that's a little weird. They're great, but they have a weird sense of humor. If you need to get them a gift for the holidays, be sure to check out weirdgiftoftheday.com. Each morning, we post a different weird item that will make you smile. There's no fee to join and no obligation to buy anything. Just follow our page on Facebook and get a smile each morning. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Weird gift ideas for your weird friends. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Faith, freedom, and the best music of the 80s and 90s. You are listening to Sunny 93.3. It's time right now for the Maverick Recruiting Top Gun of the Week.
Dun, 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 dun. No, I just feel bad because I've been missed opportunity last week going into Christmas. Now, Christmas is come and gone, and I had it all scheduled to do it, but I forgot to do it.
What's that?
I was going to switch the lyrics to Highway to the Manger Zone.
Oh,
but it's too late.
You did there.
No,
we missed it.
So I'm just sitting here kind of lethargic, kind of depressed. Kind of mad at myself.
No, don't be mad at yourself because it's just as much our fault as it is your fault.
Oh, great. It's
not our fault at all. No, the Maverick Recruiting Top Gun of the Week. This is kind of like an employee of the week. This is a big thank you to our friends at Maverick Recruiting for doing this with us. They help us kind of shine the spotlight on somebody who goes above and beyond like a real Top Gun. And Heidi is the one that gets to announce this each week. Who is our Top Gun of the Week this week, Heidi?
Like, actually, I'm kind of embarrassed that we haven't done this one sooner because we've been working with this young lady now for months. And she's absolutely awesome. Some of you know that we've been doing this
profile plan.
Sanford profile weight loss plan, and we have a coach who's
and you're
just
looking fabulous,
lovely. Well, thank you, and so are you.
Oh, thank you.
And her name is Amanda, and she's with the Sanford profile plan, and we go and see her every Monday.
We're going to see her later today.
We are. Yeah. She's probably not going to be very happy with us because of Christmas break because we didn't do great.
Are you trying to butter her up today? Is that what's going on?
Maybe just a little bit.
Don't even say butter.
We can't have butter.
What are you thinking?
You're going to spend our whole time congratulating her on this. It's like, you didn't happen to look at my weight, did you? Christmas and stuff.
Yeah, no, it was a rough week, but yeah, she totally deserves it. She's so sweet and so kind and so supportive.
And here's the good news: even though neither of us had a great week this week, and it's not Profile Plan's fault, it's our fault.
It's totally our
fault. We didn't stick to the plan very well. But even though she's not going to make us feel bad about it, she's not going to scold us or anything. She does an amazing job of reiterating all the positives, and when you do have a negative, she's there with you to kind of help walk you through that.
Get you back on track.
Get you back on track. Yeah, so she does a great job.
Yes, so she absolutely deserves it. And like I said, I can't believe I didn't do this one sooner. So,
well, there you go. We will deliver that to her this afternoon.
Yeah.
Also want to say thank you to our friends at Maverick Recruiting. They are the sponsor of the Maverick Recruiting Top Gun of the Week. If you are looking for awesome people to work for your company, that's what they do. They help you find awesome people. And if you happen to be some awesome people that are maybe looking for a new opportunity, it's a really good opportunity for you to reach out to maverickrecruiting.com because they'll help you find a better job. If they don't, the good news is you can just keep doing what you're doing. But if they do, it doesn't cost you anything to take a look. So check it out, maverickrecruiting.com. Thanks for listening to Sunny 93.3.
Student loan debt is now the second highest consumer debt category, behind only mortgage debt. It's higher than both credit cards and auto loans. Believe it or not, the average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to almost $40,000 in student loans. 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you only have one student loan, we may offer a better rate to help you get that paid off sooner. Singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Faith, freedom, and the best music of the 80s and 90s. You are listening to Sunny 93.3. It's time right now for entertainment news of the day with Mr. Dan Farris.
The celebrities are fabulous. Just when you think you know them, something changes. They throw a curve. Maybe they throw some shade. Maybe they clap back. I don't know. You know, it's a boozy time of year. It's the holidays.
Yeah.
You know, people getting all hooched up and whatnot. And it's just assumed that a lot of, you know, major celebrities, whatever, you know, they like to fall into the hooch, maybe do a little, what do the hipsters call it? A little blow, a little Peruvian marching powder, maybe smoke a little devil's lettuce on the side.
Yeah.
But that is not always the case. There are a number of very, very famous celebrities who have either never gone there or have cleaned themselves up substantially. And I happen to have a list of some of them.
oh, good.
Because I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's very cool.
They might even be role model status. And
I think that's lovely.
maybe not. Did you know Bradley Cooper?
I did not.
Bradley Cooper stopped drinking at 29 years old.
Good for him.
His reasoning being, you know what? It had started to affect just my life and my work. And yeah. He's stone cold sober.
He does a pretty darn good job nowadays, too.
He does. Robert Downey Jr., if you know his history.
Yes.
Whoa.
It's always been squeaky clean.
Maniac. He's been clean for a number of years now.
Good for him.
Rob Lowe, you probably didn't know. Rob Lowe, a huge substance abuser.
struggled.
Yeah, he has been clean since, the 80s now? For about 28 years.
Good for him.
Nice.
Brad Pitt. He was a big boozer and doper.
I didn't know that either.
Yes, he was. He was a big booze hound. Been clean for a couple of years now. Dennis Rodman, the Worm.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
NBA super maniac guy and close personal friend of Kim Jong-il. Actually relapsed about a year ago, but he's back on the straight and narrow now. So yeah, he's just naturally a mess.
Yeah, he's...
You go, Dennis.
Yeah.
Russell Brand, actor, who's married to Katy Perry for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been clean for 17 years.
Has he really?
In fact, he wrote a book all about it recently.
That's awesome.
Yep. Terry Crews, who I loved in The Expendables.
He is so funny in everything.
He's pretty
He is
cool.
awesome.
And he says, you know what? I'm just naturally nuts.
Yeah.
Don't need to give it that extra push. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Really? He's stone cold sober.
Wrestler. Yeah, and part of his gig was guzzling beers in the ring and everything else. Yeah, he cleaned up about a year ago.
Nice.
Sobered up. And this one kind of surprised me. Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, in fact, came out not too long ago and said, honestly, there were times I was on the set while filming the Harry Potter series where I was pretty hammered. He's been clean for 5 years.
That's
Good for him.
And
I'm
finally,
happy to hear that.
future Hall of Famer quarterback Brett Favre used to get his yah-yahs out quite a bit.
Well, he lived in Wisconsin. It's the state law.
Well, he was a Baptist. It is, in fact, when you go to a baptism in Wisconsin, it's a whole different situation.
Bucket of beer.
It is. Actually, Brett put the plug in the jug all the way back in 1998. So.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So there you go. Some people not walking that.
Well, and this is a time of year that there are a lot of people who kind of maybe take a second look at, what am I doing? You know, making like a New Year's resolution here the next couple of days. People will be doing that. And if that's something that you decide you need help with, there's a website that we talk about here on the program from time to time that can help you.
Yep.
Timeforrehab.com. And it's a good decision to make to put that in the past. So if you'd like some help, again, that website, timeforrehab.com. Dan, thanks for coming in, man.
Hey, thanks for letting me. I always appreciate it, you guys.
Absolutely. Again, Dan Farris joins us here for about an hour every morning for a little thing we like to call the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris. See how that works? Right here on Sunny 93.3.